Yes, 5 runs and over. One wicket for 80, and Jai Surya looking really good on 47. Some great shots, smashed them all around the place. From Australia's point of view, well, McDermott really was the one that received most of the hammer. Just 5 overs, no wicket for 28. McGrath, no wicket for 22. Warne and Rifle also bowled. Not many overs, but they had to go. But they weren't able to make the breakthrough. But don't forget, tomorrow, Australia versus Sri Lanka. Live coverage continuing. Play commencing here at 11 a.m. local time. Just check your local guides.
Well, he couldn't have got a better reception if he'd have been playing at Bell Reeve in his last Test match. Terrific tribute to the popularity of this man, and also to the job that he's done for Australia at the top of the order, both as an opening batsman and as a number 3. He's been a great servant of Australian cricket, and the Adelaide crowd paying him tribute.
An emotional moment for David Boon, the last time he will bat in a Test match. Leg stump guard he's got from umpire Lloyd Barker. 35 years of age, David Boon. Career average of 43. He's been a wonderful performer for Australia over a long period of time. The Rock of Gibraltar through some difficult times. Went on and for a period of time was the most successful batsman in Test cricket for 2 or 3 seasons.
And a big shout. Oh, Kalu Wadharana was very confident about that one. Umpire Barker says no. They were appealing for caught behind. I think they felt it got the glove.
It was a dangerous delivery to get first up before you settle in. Ball was a long way away from the body. Really haven't had time to adjust to the bounce and the pace, and it's wide of the body. And I think David Boon's had a little bit of luck.
Yes, I think the umpires got a bit emotional as well. Felt a bit sorry for David Boon. Certainly there was some deviation. As Greg mentioned, both the gloves and the bat were well away from the body. Good over there from Pushpakamara. It's 1 for 22.
Your chance to win the BMW as seen in the new Bond movie GoldenEye. Details on cartons of Foster's Light Ice. For extreme refreshment, Foster's Light Ice. Licensed to chill.
Well, Michael Slater has just been down and had a chat with David Boon. Been a good start for Sri Lanka. Chaminda Vaas really troubled Mark Taylor, and then it was Pushpakamara who gained the benefit and got him out.
Well, it was the angle across the batsman, so Mark Taylor was having to hit across the line to get it through the covers. Meant that he passed across that line with the bat. He got the inside edge straight onto the middle stump. I feel a little bit sorry for the Sri Lankans. Not a lot's gone right for them on the tour. Pushpakamara bowled beautifully to Mark Taylor to pick up his wicket, and then very first ball to David Boon following that dismissal. He had one down the leg side which umpire Lloyd Barker decided make any contact with bat or glove on the way through. It could well have gone the other way. sort of thing that they needed here, an early wicket. Mark Taylor was the one that they got. Just how much more buoyant would they have been had Lloyd Barker thought differently about this one?
He's going to get a few like that in his career, Pushpakamara. Get a few that are given out because that's the angle that he comes at. He gets awkward bounce. Charminder Vas must wonder what he's done to the man who hands out the luck in this game. I must say, much like Mushtaq Ahmed in the Pakistan series, Mushtaq bowled very well, didn't always have things go his way, but he kept charging in exactly the same way as Charminder Vas has done. Charminder's never hung the head. He's kept coming back at the batsman. And he really has bowled extremely well and bowled with a big heart. If ever a man deserved 5 wickets in a test innings, it was in the first innings of this match for Charminder Vas. Another good over. It's 1 for 23.
Feel the extra fuel economy of its O2 Advantage engine. Feel the extra convenience of all these extras that come at no extra cost. Feel the extra value of the Toyota Camry, while your local Toyota dealer is clearing the last of last year's models. Save now while your Toyota dealer is clearing the last of last year's models. See these dealers or your local participating Toyota dealer.
Well, we've had quite a bit of drama already at the Adelaide Oval today. Mark Taylor out to Pushpakamara for 10. David Boon getting a terrific reception from the crowd here in Adelaide and then getting a good break from umpire Lloyd Barker. Slater on strike. Out of 2 there. Pushpakamara with that delivery that slides down the leg side, he's going to get a few batsmen out that way in his career because he's quite a lively pace. See some good fielding there, restricting that to a single. And you get a batsman first in, he's looking to cover off stump. The right-hand batsman we're talking about, looking to cover off stump because that's the big danger. And suddenly you get one sliding at a good pace and an awkward height, just sliding down the leg side. Quite often it's going to catch the gloves early in a batsman's innings. Ravinda De Silva, the acting captain of Sri Lanka, you see there with the protector on the top of the left thumb. Got quite a solid plastic protection there for the thumb, and in particular the thumbnail. And he's also having problems with that left side still. Some very inventive people with these signs. Standard has gone up tremendously this season. I guess that's a tribute to the sponsors. Toyota putting the money up. That's a good bouncer. David Boon's off the mark, but it's not in convincing style.
He's a good bouncer. It's over about middle stump, which is where you want to get it. You don't want to be going down the leg side with your bouncer. And that's over middle stump, which means that David Boon's trying to hook it from the offside of his body around to the leg side, and the height just kept getting bigger and bigger on him. In the end, top edge over the top of the keeper. Never many fieldsmen down there, though. Always a few runs.
Yep.
You never ever know what happens when decisions go one way that could have gone another way. But the Sri Lankans been able to pick up a second wicket. On top of that of Mark Taylor, the boost that it would have given them would have made a big difference to their day. All of a sudden, David Boon gets off the mark and he and Slater start to build a partnership, and the morale can drop very quickly. All of a sudden the game gets away from the Sri Lankans.
It's 1 for 29.
Warwick Smith has been planning and working to get Bass back together again. From his campaign headquarters in Brisbane Street, Warwick and his team have worked tirelessly to prepare for a better and fairer future for our community. Soon we will have the chance to put things right. Authorised by P. Gutwin for Liberal Party, Hobart.
When you're looking for school shoes, one name springs to mind. Duncan's of the Mall, Launceston. They stock Clark school shoes, and because they're fitting specialists, your child will have the best and most comfortable. It's back to school with Duncan's of the Mall, Launceston.
Once again, a good crowd here at the Adelaide Oval, and they're dressed appropriately today. We've seen them with rugs. Well, the rugs today are being used to sit on. The previous couple of days, they've been wrapped in the rugs to keep warm. The ice cream seller will do better business today. It's nicely timed by David Boon. Looked like just a push, but it ran away very quickly. Had excellent crowds for the first 3 days, and being a Sunday, once again people have taken the opportunity to come down here and given David Boon a rousing cheer for his last dig. And I guess they would be thinking it could be an excellent day's cricket, with Australia trying to set a target as quickly as possible. Obviously they'd be hoping for something special from David Boon, his last test innings. And then I guess there's the attraction of Michael Slater, always an aggressive player. Slater in a run chase would be exciting to watch. And then the opportunity that they'll see Shane Warne perhaps bowl at the Sri Lankans later on. I guess that's one of the things about watching cricket. People who actually come to the ground to watch, different reasons why they come. Obviously with a test match you're not always coming to see the result. If you can only get there for one day, what you're looking for are individual battles. A guy like Charminder Vas up against top-class batsmen. You're looking for McGrath against opening batsman, Warne bowling to any batsman. Those are the sorts of things that appeal to fans when they can just get along to one day of the test.
Just a little bit of movement there from the pitch for Chaminda Vas. The ball just deviating. That's what we're going to see more of as this day goes on, and tomorrow ball pitching and then cutting away from the right-hander. It's the top thick outside edge of the bat, but David Boon played it very well. Just soft hands, not pushing at the ball too hard with firm arms and hands. May have promoted a catch to the slip or gully cordon. The new ball is always the hardest, one that's going to do most either in the air or from the pitch, but as it gets softer it's likely to stay down a little bit more. Load a few low bouncing deliveries.
Oh, beautifully timed. David Boon talked in an interview the other day about what he thought was his best innings ever in Test cricket, 143 at the Gabba. On that occasion he drove beautifully against Richard Hadley and company. That was a good example of his driving power there. 1 for 35.
The World of Baroque, featuring the splendour of Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Pachelbel's Canon. Handel's Water Music. Bach's Brandenburg Concertos and Albinoni's Adagio, together on 3 memorable compact discs or cassettes. The World of Baroque, limited edition 3 CD or 3 cassette gift packs. Out now from Vogue Music.
Lovely execution of the off drive there for David Boon, a 4-all run. And Australia now with the lead of 220. That was a lovely shot. Was David Boon at his best.
You'll see that sort of shot for right-handed batsmen against Pushpak Amara quite a lot. Because if he starts to stray onto the stumps, the angle is going to take it down the leg side or down towards the leg stump. And as Ian pointed out, most right-handed batsmen are getting over to cover their off stump as much as possible. So anything that comes onto leg stump is really going down the leg side of their body. They'll tuck it around the corner time and time again. Pushpak Amara's got to get his line around about off stump, coming into middle stump. No good pitching it on middle because it's going to be going down leg side.
Tilakaratne at first slip, and that ball coming off the pad was well taken.
It was a good catch because the ball would have been hidden for a long time, and then it went very close to the wicketkeeper. Keeper couldn't get to it, but Tilakaratne moved very well. Unfortunately for him, it hadn't come off the bat. It just came off the top of the pad. They've had a bit of trouble catching the ones that have come off the bat. Pakamara thought he'd done the job. But Lloyd Barker didn't agree.
David Boon looks in a pretty aggressive mood. He's looking to drive. On that occasion, looking to drive on the rise.
That's what Pushpak Amara has got to try and achieve. Get the right-handers trying to drive at balls just outside off stump. With that angle and the movement in, as you can see there, the ball starting to curl back into the right-hander. That's where he can induce the inside edge, as he did to David Boon in the first innings. Inside edge on that occasion going on to pad and then stumps.
I think David Boon there surprised at the lack of bounce. That was banged in pretty short. He was expecting it to get up a bit.
Boon likes the cut shot. As you can see there, he's ducking. So he was expecting the ball to bounce higher. If it had been his expectation that it was only going to go through at that height, you can guarantee David Boon would have been cutting at it. One of his great shots. It's been a pretty good opening spell from the two Sri Lankan bowlers. With a little bit of fortune, they could have done better. Chaminda Vaas beat the outside edge of Mark Taylor's bat a number of times with some good deliveries, and then Taylor was bowled by Pushpak Amara, and Pushpak Amara had a very confident appeal against David Boon. Chaminda Vaas beat the outside edge of Boon's bat as well, so they've done their job.
That was the slowest of slower deliveries. It's 1 for 36.
Warner Music Price Blitz, Australia's best value music range of CDs in 1995 just got better with the Sharp. Snow, Mark Cohn, plus Mr. Big, Eric Clapton, Anita Baker, The Trio, Chris Rea and Natalie Cole. Chic. Plus Simply Red and more. Price split, CDs only $19.95, in store now.
2:21 is the Australian lead now. They've lost Mark Taylor this morning. In the commentary position, Richie Ponting and Bill Laurie.
Thank you, Ian Chappell. Well, very good half hour for Sri Lanka. They've been unlucky not to pick up 2 wickets. They've removed Captain Taylor for 10, 1 for 22. It's now 1 for 36. Wickramasinghe to come in and take up the attack from the river end. The breeze today from the northeast, coming from scoreboard across to Cover Point. A light breeze of about 5 k's. It'll be much hotter today. Wickramasinghe should swing the ball away from the right-hander because the breeze coming across from fine leg. So he'll be pushing up into that breeze and hopefully swinging the ball away towards the slip. It's well bowled. Got through him. What a good delivery. The run continues for Slater. It seemed to stay down a bit. It maybe edge onto the stumps. Good bowling change. Australia are 2 for 36 and could have been 3 for 36.
Well, it's an interesting morning for Sri Lanka. They're fighting back again, as they did with the bat on several occasions, while trying to avoid the follow-on. Now Slater had the job here of facing the first ball. It looks as though it just got through the gap. Unless something shows on the shot from behind Slater, we just assume that he's beaten by pace. Didn't seem to cut back a great deal. It just slanted in from outside the off stump. He's gone for 15, bowled by Wickramasinghe, and it's 2 for 36.
Tuesday 8:30, a new arrival.
So when can I start? This morning.
Australia's Carly Travis.
She wants your job, and whatever Rachel wants, Rachel gets.
Central Park West.
Dan, how long do you think you can keep up this charade?
It's all about power, prestige and ambition.
There's no ulterior motive here.
What other motive would I have?
New drama from the producers of Melrose Place.
Do you want me to call the police?
I'd like to see you try.
8:30 Tuesday, Central Park West on Win Television.
The Cancer Information and Support Service is on the corner of Mulgrave and Howick Streets, Launceston. In association with the Cancer Council of Tasmania and SunSmart, the centre offer a wide range of products to protect you from the sun. Sunscreens, hats, UV suits, umbrellas and polarised sunglasses. Profits from the sale of these products help provide support for people with cancer and information about the disease. Remember, all products are available from the Cancer Information and Support Service, Launceston, and the Devonport SunSmart shop in Oldacre Street.
Mark Waugh at the crease, average of 44.62, got 71 in the first innings, but he's at the crease because Michael Slater's been knocked over as clean as a whistle. Seemed to get through the gate. Wickramasinghe just keeping the ball well up. The Australians a little bit tentative this morning. Some very good bowling by Shaminder Vas. Now the change has brought the result the captain wanted because he was well up, and Slater coming down again as he did in the first innings, too late, and clean bowled. Very good delivery.
Doesn't seem anything untoward there. Not quite a perfectly straight ball. It was on the slant from outside the off stump. It was just coming in at him, but there was nothing violent about the movement off the seam or swing or anything like that. And Bill Laurie has got it spot on. He was just late with the stroke once again.
Oh, dropped. Well, Mark was being put down. It was no ball. I think I saw umpire Randell's arm go up. A no ball called. So it wasn't a real chance, but certainly it wasn't a positive stroke. And all of a sudden the Sri Lankans realise if they can chip in for 3 or 4 wickets in this session, they're with a bit of chance of getting back into this game.
That didn't deviate either. But it did out of the hands. Didn't matter as it turned out because of the no ball call, and he's well over the bowling crease there. Well, there's no shortage of incident this morning.
Australia lead by 2-2-2 with 8 wickets in hand. So 222 run lead. There's Saria there in the gully. Boon on strike, and really he shouldn't be there because he's definitely got a glove down the leg side. It's always tough for umpires, but it certainly was away from his body. He knocked over Mark Taylor. Pakamara with a very good one because he at the angle there. Taylor trying to force on the offside, which left-handers tend to do. Got an inside edge back onto middle stump. And the very next ball, clearly there off the glove. Tough for the umpire. Fairness to him.
It's a different angle of that appeal against David Boon.
The umpire couldn't get out from there because the ball was turned around. It certainly did appear as if it struck the glove from the other front-on replay. And all of a sudden, Slater has been knocked over for 15 and still 2 for 36. So very interesting morning. And this looked to be dead straight. Just the angle, and Slater coming down across again. Normally a very good defensive player when in form, Michael Slater, but in this game he's been knocked over twice. He was late and not coming from the path where the ball was coming. He was coming more from second slip towards maybe mid-on. This is a crowd of around about 10,000 in. It's going to be a wonderful day's play. It's nice and warm, northeasterly blowing. The wind swung right around. Forecast are in the 30s today. We're seeing a good morning's play. They just won't go away, these Sri Lankans. They're fighting hard. And at the end of this series, you'll sit back and say they weren't quite good enough, but they haven't had a lot of luck either. It's 2 for 37.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vogue Music is proud to present a truly unique experience. The greatest voices of the century. Featuring Peter Dawson, Enrico Caruso, Paul Robeson, Nelson Eddy, Jeanette MacDonald, Lawrence Tibbett, and so many more. In fact, these magnificent recordings feature all the greatest voices of the last 100 years. The greatest voices of the century. Limited edition 2 CD or 2 cassette gift packs. Available now.
That's the view down the ground. This is a wonderful ground for Test cricket. Tent City, people from all over South Australia and Western Victoria come to this Test match. See them in the hotel. They get down here early and get their vantage spot with their deck chairs. One of the few remaining grounds in Australia where there's any grass at all. Get on the concrete steps. There's a little house there. Or just staying down a fraction this morning. Maybe a bit of variable bounce on the fourth day, which you would expect.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's the way a pitch should be. This pitch has been just about ideal for Test cricket, I reckon. Started off on the first day, and there was a bit of life there early on. 3 of the Australians were knocked over cheaply. And then it settled down. A lot of runs made by the Australians and by Sri Lanka, who got to 317 and avoided the possibility of being asked to follow on. Now we're into the 4th day. Last day coming up tomorrow. Ball is keeping just a little lower or at variable heights.
So off the pad, we'll wait for the call there.
And that's the way it should be. It should be doing that and taking more and more spin as the game goes on, which it will do. Les Burdett has got it right. If all pitches were along these lines, giving the bowlers more and more help as the game goes on, then it would be a very good thing. It provides for results rather than dull, boring draws.
Too much help for the bowlers, Rich.
Just a modicum, William. I agree with you that we have played on some of the years, you and I, where there was a bit too much help, but results are what we like to see in Test matches. Otherwise, people tend to say, well, what's the point of playing 5 days and no result?
This is a pitch where the good bowlers get wickets in Test match cricket. Malcolm Marshall, Jeff Lawson, Graham McKenzie, Neil Hawke, Craig McDermott,
Michael Whitney.
Michael Whitney, that's the name that pops up. And if you can bowl, you can get wickets, and if you can bat, you can certainly make runs. David Boon, on his last appearance in a Test match in Australia. He'll do his normal shit anchor roll here. Just the one slip and a go in. Ring of 3 on the offside. 2 out for the hook shot. Pushback Amara's done a good job because he's lively, and Sri Lankans need a guy with genuine pace. Shamanda Vas is a beautiful swing bowler, much like Alan Davison, a good bouncer. This young man can come on and find a yard, get fitter and stronger, and just test the batsman out with the odd bounce. And as Ian Chappell said, get the odd glove down the leg side, to get the odd guy out hooking. Already he's bowled 3 in this match. He's bowling with the wind. The wind has changed around, so maybe he will bowl better at Cathedral End today. He's not pushing up into the wind. It's a northeasterly, up around about 10 k's now. The flag's just spreading out. Staying low, Boon over the top. The way they're playing this morning, do you think Sri Lanka are leading 2-0?
Be more of a struggle then for the batsmen today. Bowlers will have realised very quickly out there that they're in with a chance for keeping a little low, moving a bit more off the seam than has been the case in the earlier days.
Good tidy over. A leg by. It's 2 for 38.
Witness the power of home videos in an eye-opening 1-hour special. Ordinary people capturing the events and the images for fame, fortune and protection. Presented by Mike Munro, Videos, Vigilantes and Voyeurisms. Monday 8:30 on Win.
We're at McDonald's All-Star Showdown. Sylvester is surrounded. He breaks through.
Hurry to McDonald's for Michael Jordan's McBacon Deluxe. 2 tempting all-beef patties with sizzling bacon for a limited time.
It's good!
It's my time.
Perfect day for Test cricket. Good fight back by Sri Lanka in the first 45 minutes on the 4th day. 2 quick wickets. Taylor and Slater back in the dressing room. Mark Ward dropped off a no ball. He probably wouldn't have played that shot, you never know. He took a chance in the gully. Not his favourite ground, the Adelaide Oval, even though he made a big 138 on debut from Mark Ward. But I think today, because he does have soft hands, he has very good footwork, he'll continue this very good run there. It's a wonderful summer for him. His best summer in Australia for Mark Ward, and he's an uncomplicated batsman, much like David Boon is with his footwork. Not too many movements. It's back in line. He'll play the odd casual shot, that's his style, but generally speaking, his head doesn't move around too much and very hard to bowl to. It's well bowled. There's a bit of head throwing back there, maybe just a little bit of extra bounce. Ramasinger not bowling too wide today. He's pushing up into this northeasterly, getting his line spot on. The ball just coming back, and War throwing the head back, expecting it to bounce higher. Good delivery.
Good example of playing with not too firm a grip of the bat. Just keep the ball down so it doesn't fly away towards the slips.
Not overdoing the short pitch ball either. Just the odd bounce to force the batsman back and hopefully get it up fuller. Maybe get a nick to the wicketkeeper or the slips. Good testing session here for the Australian batsman. Everything right this summer, leading 2-0 in the series, winning the Benson Hedges World Series. They wouldn't want to lose this test match just prior to leaving for the World Cup. They'll be very keen to win it and win it well.
Ramasinga's bowling pretty well out there. A bit of extra pace from him. Now, Mark Waugh, in matches against all countries, against England he's made 1,000 runs at 50. In South Africa 349, West Indies 947. Good effort against the West Indies. And against Sri Lanka 305 at an average of 33.88. Now, take into account that he's had a pretty good summer here. And we'll come back to the sort of summer he had in Sri Lanka in just a moment. 2 for 38.
It's the third and final test, and there's no limits to the prizes you could win. An Oasis holiday for 2 adults and 2 children for 7 days at the SeaWorld Nara Resort, including fares from your capital city. Also, 50 tanks of PP petrol to the value of $60. Just ring this number now and tell us in 10 words or less Australia's 3 best bowlers from the past 5 years and why. And you could be the winner of your very own Oasis holiday.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. Boon on 11, Mark Waugh on 1. Good crowd in, building all the time, and they'll be coming down this afternoon. Should be a very interesting day's play. Took it away. Down to the ground, just a single. As we're talking about Mark Waugh, his average against Sri Lanka. Not too high because he had a little horror patch when touring Sri Lanka, where he made 4 ducks on the trot. 5 and 56 and 4 noughts in that little period there. He's come back pretty well though with those hundreds. They were going to call him Olympic rings if he got 5 on the trot, but he only got the 4, and I think that's enough. But since then it's been a very consistent pattern. His average of 44 showing up there with some good hundreds.
The Australians' next international match will be in Sri Lanka. All those things will be going through Mark Waugh's mind. They do through the minds of all batsmen and bowlers. If they have favoured grounds or countries, and they're either looking to continue a good run or try to redress the balance of having had a poor one.
Beautifully played, but no run. On to David Boon's career. My fondest memories of David Boon are at the Sydney Cricket Ground, where I think he's played spin as well as anybody I've ever seen. He's a beautiful player of off-spin in particular. Remember one game, I think Desmond Haynes got a big 100 for the West Indies, and David Boon did both on turning pitches. Look at that 43 average there. Very, very good. Not so good against Pakistan. That's understandable if you're top order batsman with Wasim Akram, Imran Khan, Waqar Yunus. It's 149 against the West Indies there. So just a beautiful knock of composure and skill. And when David Boon started his career, I remember up at the Gabba against the West Indies, Frank Tyson said he made 44, if my memory's correct. Frank Tyson said he's the best organised young batsman he's seen for a long, long time. We didn't let Frank Tyson down. It's a wonderful record against all comers. About a 17-year first-class career. Nicely played. The outfield fast, but just a single. You can feel the tension out there at the moment for Boon and Mark. Well, they realise that they want to lose another 2 wickets before lunch. 300 chase will be difficult here if the wicket does turn, but there's David Boon in all countries.
It's a fine record. Australia almost 4,500. In England he's made the bulk of the remainder of his runs, but he's pushing up towards 7,500 in all at the moment, but he's not going to get any further than the final results of this innings. They've lost 2 for 24 this morning. We just go towards an hour's play.
Well played. Beats a man at mid-wicket. Should go all the way. Beautifully played off his toes. 6 off the over. 2 for 44. Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. Bathed in sunshine, very warm. And a wonderful sight. The crowd still coming in to the Victor Richardson gates and the members stand. Singer doing a good job here because he's not bowling too wide of the off stump. He's making the batsman play, and with that action, he gets the odd one to swing away because he's pushing up into the northeasterly, and he gets the one to cut back. If one stays down, he may get inside edge back onto the pad. Then Singer picked up 3 wickets in the first innings. He had 2 catches dropped down the leg side by the wicketkeeper as well. Mark and Stephen Moore.
It's a very consistent graph there of David Boone's career, 1984, that match Bill Laurie is talking about, where he started off up in Brisbane. Not long after he made a century in the Prime Minister's game down in Canberra. And 21 of those red lines, one of them stretching up above the 200.
That's over the top. Quite time it. Swaying onto leg stump. 2 runs to Mark Waugh. Seemed to get that on the end of the bat. He likes to whip the ball over mid-wicket.
Like the Q end. This has been close to perfect morning for Sri Lanka so far. 2 jolts for the Australians. Lost 2 for 30 in the almost hour's play. Boon 16 and Mark Waugh 4. The bowling has been good. I thought Shaminder Vas bowled well again today, as he has done all the way through. Vikramasinghe's about a yard quicker than in the first innings.
Defend well. Get off those drives and square cuts. Keep the pressure on Waugh and Boon.
Single there to Mark Waugh. We were talking a little earlier about the World Cup matches coming up and players who will be going there. And we'll come back to that in just a moment. 2 for 47.
You all know Clean Up Australia Day. Well, now we can do more. If you see an environmental or pollution problem, call Clean Up Australia 2001, and together we can fix up Australia.
Australia 2 for 47, David Boon 16 and Mark Waugh 5. Just going back to what we were saying about players going to the World Cup, one of those is Shivnarine Chanderpaul, who has just become the 10th West Indian player ever to hit more than 300 in an innings. He's done that in the game in Jamaica between Guyana and Jamaica. Shaminder Vas. Just a single to Mark Waugh. There's a triple century, and only 10 other West Indians to do that, including Brian Lara, Sir Garfield Service, Sir Clyde Walcott and Sir Frank Worrell. Jamaica 1 for 59 in response to Guyana's 5 for 559. 38 fours and he faced 455 balls. 303 for Shivnarine Chandapal.
He was one of the better West Indian batsmen in the Benson Hedges World Series. He seemed to cramp up once or twice, but he played very good innings at the Melbourne Cricket Ground with those two wonderful sixes. Remember one off McDermott over mid-wicket. So he's going to be a bit of a threat in the World Cup after that type of innings.
Yeah, he's a good player, and when Brian Lara comes back and is in form with the West Indies, I reckon you'll see the best of Chandapal. He's also a left-hander and a different style player from Lara, but a very, very good one.
It's a good move by De Silva to bring De Vast back with the breeze now. It's just a light northeasterly, so he may swing the odd one in. He's got a beautiful action. Only 22 years of age yesterday. You can see the breeze there, just a light northeasterly. One thinks that De Vast will improve with each season. Seems to have a good head on his shoulders. Very relaxed.
It's never easy batting against left-arm pace bowlers. For a right-hander, even if you play absolutely dead straight between the stumps at your end and the middle stump at the other end, you're still hitting across the ball. Ball's going across towards the slips, wicket-keeper standing outside off stump, and there's a big chance that at some stage the ball's going to find the edge. Good example of it there. David Boon, if he'd played perfectly straight there, would have been hitting across the ball. Ball angling there, probably around about 30 degrees. So it's never easy against these left-arm quicks.
It's 2 for 48.
Boon bat. There's the number, 1-800-02-3029. Players now have just finished the drinks break, and 2 for 48 is the score. There it is, that lovely Adelaide Oval scoreboard. Boon out there on 16 with Mark Waugh. Vikramasinghe continuing. Lovely day here in Adelaide today, and not a great start either for the Australian side. A couple of wickets in quick succession. The Sri Lankans coming out there and implementing what they've become so well known for, that never say die attitude. They really work very hard at their cricket, and they're beginning to see the rewards. All they've got to do now is fix some of the problems they're having in the field, catching in particular, and things will change for them. And he's the man, or one of the men out there, that's got a lot to do with their success.
Interestingly enough, Jaminda Vas hasn't taken a wicket this morning, but I think his bowling has contributed somewhat to the pressure building up on the Australian batsmen. Pushpak Amara and Vikramasinghe have been the ones successful this morning.
Nicely played. Again on the onside, you can't afford to get too straight to Mark Waugh either. He hits that ball through the onside beautifully. Hits them everywhere beautifully.
Mark Waugh also very strong on the legs, as Tony points out. The strong all round the wicket. I think his main strength is on the leg side.
It's just having a look at the pitch out there this morning. Obviously, as each day goes by, it dries out a bit more. But Les Burdett very happy with the surface. A lot of plate cracking out there, which tends to create a situation where there's no major crack that causes problems out there, but there's a fair bit of wear and tear. Saying that one of the important aspects of this ground is the fact that they don't pay too much attention to try and get drainage underneath the actual square itself. I believe that very little of the water actually gets through the square. It tends to run away to the edges, and they've got very good drainage around the edges of that square. Trying to force away on the offside. 2 for 49.
Every year, severe storms do millions of dollars worth of damage to property. Severe storms can happen anywhere, and they're very scary. Lightning, hailstones as big as golf balls, huge winds, rain in buckets. They can kill people. But there are things you can do and people to turn to. For free pamphlets on how to cope with severe storms, call your local state emergency service.
Mark Waugh and David Boon out there at the moment. Australia 2 for 49. David Boon down the non-striker's end, playing in his last test match. And what's more, his wife has come down to Adelaide to share this big occasion with him. And Pip Boon is with Ian Chappell.
Thank you very much, Tony. Well, Pip, how did it feel when he walked out to bat for the last time?
An emotional time. I didn't quite realise how emotional it would be, actually. Yeah.
Fantastic reception he got from the Adelaide crowd.
The people in Adelaide have been sensational. David can't do anything wrong out there, and they've really got behind and supported him.
Chaminda Vast to Mark Waugh. Well, I must say he's looking pretty good. That the shot down the ground for 4, that must have given you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, nice to have him off the mark, that's for sure, yeah.
How was the heart when they had that big appeal first for naught?
No, yes, I did jump off my seat a little, yeah.
And what was your advice to him before he went out today?
Well, I said to him, please try not to get a duck. But I said, on the other hand, if you got a duck, I wouldn't have to talk to you today on television.
Chaminda Vast from the Cathedral end. What sort of role do you play as a Test cricketer's wife?
Well, just the role of any wife, just supportive of what your husband's job is, and yeah, just try to be there for him in the good times and the bad times.
Anything different in the bad times?
No, not really. I think, just the sounding board for them if they need to talk, or, just to reassure them that they really can do what they want to do, and yeah, that sort of thing.
Chaminda Vast just giving the ball a bit of a shine there. Quick single there for Mark Waugh, and he cops one for his trouble. I guess a lot of good times, a lot of bad times. What are the times that you remember best?
We've made some wonderful friends from cricket, and we've travelled, and I think overall the camaraderie that David's had and the friends I've made, that's the great part about cricket.
Any special innings that you really remember fondly?
I think when the bicentennial match, when he had the 180 odd, that was pretty exciting. And I think perhaps that first 100 he got in England, I can remember sitting up in bed without hours of sleep watching him get that. That was a pretty special time.
David Boon on strike now. That's all right, you can relax. It's gone away safely. How different is that watching him when he's playing in another country on television?
Oh, I don't think it's any different. I still get as nervous for him and as happy for him, whether he's here or whether he's, yeah. I think probably it's easier at the ground. You don't listen to any commentary and you're sort of oblivious to things that you miss.
And do you sort of relax as he starts to get a few runs on the board?
Slowly, as the runs notch up, yes.
Do you have any superstitions, cross the fingers or anything like that?
Nothing too major, no.
And what about now? I mean, I think it was some politician's wife who said, I married him for better or for worse, but not for lunch. How's it going to be having him home all the time?
Well, I haven't got any great plans for him, but I think he thinks that golf course will get a bit of a workout.
That's a pretty good bouncer from Chaminda Vast. They tell me it's 2 for 53. They tell me he's a bit of a dab hand in the garden. Is that right?
Yeah, he loves the garden when he's got time. He gets very cross with me because I don't garden the same way as he does, and I pluck the weeds out and leave them on the path, and I get into all sorts of trouble, so I'll have to curb my weeding ways.
And what about the children? You've got 2 children. How do they handle having a dad as a Test cricketer?
We have 3 children,
Oh, sorry.
and well, Dad's been away most of their lives, so it's just Dad's job. So yeah, they just take it all in their stride.
And Dad's their favourite cricketer, obviously.
No, Dad's not actually. Shane Warne and Ricky Ponting are their favourite cricketers.
I can't believe that. So what? He's just a dad to them.
Dad's just Dad. I mean, he's there and they're pleased when he does well, but there's no other than Shane Warne and Ricky Ponting in our household.
So when David wasn't playing in the one-day side, they had to watch the cricket anyhow.
Oh, absolutely. We had to see what our beloved Shane and Rick were up to, yeah.
And touring, cricketers do a lot of touring. They're away from home a lot. Do you enjoy going on tours with your husband?
I think touring and small families really don't mix and match too well. We have done it and, you make the best of a hard situation, but, it's not easy. The logistics with small children is not that great, yeah.
Vikramasinghe from the river end to David Boon. David Boon on 19, Mark Waugh on 8.
No.
And what about if he happens to get 100 today?
Well, won't we be thrilled? Yeah, it'd be great, but, a few runs would be lovely.
And there's a big celebration for David at the end of this Test match. Do the wives get an invite to that celebration?
Well, I believe there is a celebration, and I think the rules may be bent a little bit this time.
So you're being invited. Any rules that you've got to stick by going to the celebration?
Oh, just be one of the boys, I think.
Well, it's been a marvellous career. What do you think you'll miss most about David not playing cricket?
Oh, there's too many things. I think we'll just miss the friendships that we've made and keep in contact with everybody regularly. I think that's going to be the thing that's going to be the hardest.
All right, we'll stop pestering you now, and I know you'll relax a bit and we take the camera away. But it's been a terrific career, and for the part that you've played in it, well done.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you.
Back to you, Tony.
Thanks, Ian. Yes, lovely chat with Pip Boon down here in Adelaide to watch her husband play in his last Test match. Meanwhile, David is continuing to put the runs together there. He's moved on to 19 as on strike as well. Trying to get that one away on the leg side. They've got 2 men back for that short ball, which popping up every now and again. This is one of those, just bowled outside off stump. Boon trying to pull it across towards mid-wicket, I'd say. And, he didn't really get hold of that one, just went straight into the ground and to the close-in fieldsman. 2 down for 53, the Australians. And that means they lead by 238. He loves them in that area.
Yes, a little bit of a scare for David Boon early on, but he looks to me as though he's really focused on what he's doing out there. Rhythm seems to be pretty good. He's looking to score runs, and that's always a good sign. It suggests that the mind is very positive, looking for the ball and looking to get on with it. That pull shot earlier in the over, he didn't quite time it, but he was into position very quickly. It's David Boon of old.
Comfortable single, just 2 runs off that over. 2 for 55.
Your home. A lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money. You always knew it would pay off one day, and now the payoff is all around you. Because you can use your equity as security to get a loan. Up to 80% of the value of your home. And the interest rates start from as low as home loan rates. A home equity loan from Island State Credit Union. Get a loan from your home. Ask about a home equity loan from Island State Credit Union. So much more than a bank.
This is the view from the members looking down across the ground to the scoreboard. This lovely outfield. It's a very picturesque ground, and that might be David Boon's niece and nephew. Little ones. Those Phipps sisters. David Boon's sisters-in-law will come down to the cricket today. It's a big occasion for him.
Well, it's a big moment for the Boon household. It will be a big change for them. David no longer travelling for most of the year playing cricket. He'll be a real pain in the neck for him.
Again, that one didn't bounce at all, and Mark Waugh getting his gloves and bat out of the way. It stayed right down, and to me as if it hit him on the thigh pad.
Just the odd ball staying down, not bouncing as you would expect, and just getting it on the arm. That's why the pain is being felt and shown by Mark Waugh. Got a lot of flesh on that part of the arm. Got hit in the leg earlier in the innings from a throw at the stumps at the bowler's end. Tried to jump over the top of it. Copped it in the lower part of the leg, and there's not a lot of flesh there either, so Waugh in the wars at the moment. You'll need to just make sure that there's no numbness in that arm, just being hit around the elbow area. And sometimes cut off the feeling and the blood supply to the lower part of the arm and the hand for a while. The grip on the bat can be rather difficult and uncomfortable. So Chaminda Vaas continuing to worry the Australian batsman. His bowling in this game really has been extraordinarily good. He's only 22 years of age, turned 22 on Australia Day. And he's grown in stature throughout this tour. I think Chaminda Vaas is going to go on and have a lengthy career for Sri Lanka if he can avoid injury.
It's now very interesting. He's hit him on the arm, and the next two balls have been bang on target as well. That says something for his accuracy. He's homed right in on that spot, almost trying to repeat the dose. Here we go again. You can see right in there. That time off the gloves. He's out there, Mark Taylor with David Boon. Interestingly enough, they watch this delivery. They have the record in Australia for 100 partnerships. No one in the history of Australian cricket has put together as many 100 partnerships as these two. They've actually put together 11 century partnerships. So they love batting together.
They're a good foil for each other. Different styles of play. That's over.
It's a maiden over. 2 for 55.
It's a little boy, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Well, it is a bit hard to tell, especially in a purple bunny rug.
It's royal blue.
And grey eyes run in your family.
They're brown, actually. It's just the colour's not right.
So, you should go to a Kodak Express too.
At Kodak Express, if you're not satisfied with the quality of your prints, our members will reprint them free. And now you can also get Kodak quality 3-hour videotapes for just $3.95 each. Kodak Express, for quality you can trust.
Yes, 11 centuries. Mark Taylor and Slater have got 10, so they're hot foot behind them. The two openers have had a lot of success as well. Now that really does say that these Australians do put together partnerships, and that's really what it's all about. It's all very well individuals getting big scores, but it's good partnerships at the end of the day that result in big scores. And these two, along with Taylor and Slater, really are very good at accumulating those partnerships. Big Rama Singer again.
So 40 runs have been added so far this morning. It's been a bit of a grind for the Australians. Some good tight bowling from the Sri Lankans, not least of all Chaminda Vas, but he's been well supported by Pushpakamara and Vikramasinghe. Some reasonably defensive field placings, just the one slip in a gully for Vikramasinghe. Two fieldsmen back on the leg side. I think Mark Waugh would, under normal circumstances, be pulling and hooking those sort of deliveries, but because the second man is back pretty square on the leg side, Mark Waugh has decided not to play the pull shot. We've seen him hit on the gloves a couple of times this morning. It's because it's not his normal way of playing. Steve tends to stand and play, but Mark either lets them go or hooks. So we're seeing him have to do something different, and that's good tactics from the Sri Lankans.
Goes for that one, but just pulls his head back. It wasn't the classic Waugh hook shot. Just the other thing that may just be on his mind is the fact that he got out playing that shot in the first innings. Straight down the fieldsman's throat. Pretty casual sort of hook shot it was. And that was the last one.
Mark Waugh not trying to play the full-blooded hook shot there. He just wanted to steer it, make sure it went down. Take those two outfielders out of play.
He's got that one away nicely. That time David Boon just getting a little bit of bat on that one, closing the face of it, gliding it away fine. Another no ball. So 3 more to Boon to the 20s. It's just on that first innings dismissal by Mark Waugh, playing that full shot or hook shot. Pushpakamara was the fieldsman back there. This is how it happened. Went for it, and he just really steered it straight to the fieldsman.
Yes, Vikramasinghe was the bowler on that occasion as well. Mark Waugh was out for 71 in the first innings, was going along pretty well at that stage too. Wasn't a particularly good delivery, it was slipping down the leg side, and Mark just picked it up and helped it on its way, but unfortunately for him, Pushpakamara was at about 45 degrees, which is perhaps a bit squarer than he expected. He hit it straight down his throat.
Yes, this bowler, Vikramasinghe, bowled 40 overs and took 3 for 120. 5 off that over, 2 for 60.
Warehouse Traders, let's go.
Warehouse Traders have a huge range of new and second-hand items, all at discounted prices. Look at these sizzling summer back-to-school savings. Chest of 6 drawers from $160, with solid pine chest from a low $390, wall units starting from $179, timber beds from $390, and new lounge suites from $720.
Warehouse Traders, let's go.
So the umpires have just had a little chat out there, and just have need to do with one of the players wanting to come on the ground. I just saw Randall hold his hand up in the direction of the dressing room there. It's going to be Chaminda Vas again. He's been bowling pretty well. Left arm over. Just angling the ball across the right-hander and every now and again digging one in quite straight and bending his back a bit, bowling it at a quicker pace. This is his 11th over, no wicket for 20. He's always very economical. Had a little chat out there with him today. He was saying that he's quite conscious of the problems he's had with his back, and so his slightly changed, more economical approach to the stumps has got a bit to do with that. Oh, that's beautifully bowled. That really is a lovely delivery.
Almost too good. His indication is that he's going to swing into the right-hand batsman, but that delivery looking like it was going to come and straighten up, so David Boon had to be playing at it, and it just kept on going and took off when it landed on the angle across the right-hander. Unfortunately for Chaminda Vast, just too much movement. If it had continued a bit straighter, may have got the outside edge.
Yes, and then it would have had to have been caught by somebody. But Guru Singh is out there today. He's not off the field. They were a bit upset about that. He went off the field to the loo. And while he was off, little Nick went straight to second slip and down it went. Jai Sarir was the fieldsman on that occasion. However, Guru Singh is out there at the moment.
Interesting thing was it was the third over of the morning and he had to go off to the loo. You'd reckon he might have done that before he got out there. Perhaps he'd had a few problems that he couldn't control, but you'd be really upset that someone had not taken care of their ablutions before they'd gone onto the field.
No, I checked on that. He was fine. He just forgot. And so off he went, and it was tragic for them, really, because here is one of their better catches. Well, that's a good shot. Firmly placed, firmly hit at mid-on. And Aravinda is limping quite badly, actually. Not able to get down on that one.
I'll hop along to Silva there. He really has had some problems in recent weeks. The hand's giving him trouble, the left hand particularly, but now his right hand I think is a bit sore because he's had to favour the left hand.
That one straight to gully. 3 runs off that over. It's 2 for 63.
Warner Music Prize Blitz, Australia's best value music range of CDs at $19.95. Just got better with the Sharp. Snow, Mark Cohn, plus Mr. Big, Eric Clapton, Anita Baker, The Trio, Chris Rea and Natalie Cole. Chic, plus Simply Red and more. Price Blitz, CDs only $19.95, in store now.
So David Boon on 27, having been out caught behind first ball and given in. And Mark Waugh on 10. Australia 2 for 63. Vikramasinghe continuing. Yes, on the subject of plaster, I also had a chat out in the centre today to Sanjeeva Ranatunga. I knew it was him because he had all this plaster on his hand, and between them, the Ranatungas have got plaster everywhere. Have a look at those 2 fingers on the right hand. They're plastered together. Then his forefinger on his right hand, as well as the forefinger on the left hand. I think I might have to back the ball if it's in his direction.
They may have cornered the market for elastoplast in Sri Lanka. And the Tungas may well be the agents, perhaps. But he is strapped up. It's almost like having webbing. Ball mightn't be able to get through there.
Yes, Jai Sarir is also pretty well taped up. Having a few problems with that front line, and umpire Randall jumping on it every time. Now he's been asked to come and show him. Really, this is a waste of time.
You're having a go at David Boon there before, Greggy, and suggesting that perhaps he should feel guilty or something about being given not out caught behind. What does it feel like?
Oh, it's a marvellous feeling. I'm not having a go at him at all. Wouldn't expect him to walk. Great feeling, especially with his first ball. Well, that's well played. Beautifully driven through the gap on the offside. And that's gone for 4. So David Boon getting stuck in here now. At 4. Right off the middle of the bat. He's been waiting for that half volley outside off stump.
Where was it? Old Trafford?
I'm just going to watch the replay first. We'll come back to that in a sec. This is the cover drive right off the meat of the bat for 4. Yeah, there's a big difference, I think, between nicking one when you're playing against Sri Lanka and nicking one when you're playing against the Australian side of the 70s. And the difference probably was David Boon nicked the one a little earlier today. He sort of stood there and they sort of protested a little bit. But, I don't think that much was said. When I nicked that one in Manchester, your mate Marshy, I think you included, and your brother and everybody, not a happy little bunch.
I don't remember saying a word. I thought a few things, I can tell you. I can tell you what a few of them started with as well. And one was C, and that was for cheat.
You chaps have always said you cop the umpire's decision.
Well, that was what I was worried about. I don't mind you standing there, but when you start tapping your arm and suggesting that it hit you on the arm, that is going a little bit far. But anyway, that's past history, as it is with David Boon as well. All he's worried about is getting on with it. And a big score for Australia. Well on the way to setting a target for Sri Lanka, which they shouldn't be able to achieve.
Get hold of that one going down the leg side as well. So 5 runs off that over, and Australia 2 for 68.
A secret about Sunraysia 100% natural prune juice. Mandy's a high flyer. Melbourne one day, New York the next. With her hectic international lifestyle, she drinks Sunraysia 100% natural prune juice, hot or cold, to keep her vital and on the go. Endorsed by the National Heart Foundation as a heart food, Sunraysia 100% natural prune juice. With dietary fibre, calcium, iron, potassium and vitamin C. Sunraysia 100% natural prune juice. Mandy's secret for the high flyer in everyone.
2 for 68. And Chaminda Vice is going to continue. Left arm over the wicket. Oh, very well this morning. To tell you more about it, Bill Laurie and Rod Marsh.
Thank you, Tony. Yes, it's been a good hard battle this morning. Both sides fighting hard. Sri Lanka picking up 2 quick wickets. It was 2 for 36. But Boon and Mark Waugh have steadied the ship a bit. The bowling has been quite tidy. Not bowling too short, making the batsmen play. 2 slips and a go in for Chaminda Vaas. He's bowling with the breeze and northeasterly today. They try and swing the ball back into the right-hander. And Mark Waugh times that superbly off the back foot. Get 1, make 2. It's 2. And good afternoon, Rod Marsh.
Good afternoon, Bill. Good morning to people in Perth. And a good fight back, really, by the Sri Lankans this morning. They bowled very steadily. I've been impressed with Wickramasinghe this morning. He has got the ball to swing away from the right-handers. And this man, Chaminda Vaas, he's just a very fine bowler. A beautiful little punch shot off the back foot by Mark Waugh. He hasn't been in the greatest of nick in this test match. He did get 70 in the first innings, but we've seen better Mark Waugh innings, and he's really struggled a bit here this morning. They bowled short to him, and he hasn't really enjoyed it.
That's out, straight down his throat. That's the wicket they needed. It was a wide delivery. Chaminda Vaas at the end gets some reward for a very good bowling effort. Tilkaratna takes the catch. Rodney Marsh hit it right on the head. Out of sorts, Mark Waugh. Not his favourite ground, the Adelaide Oval. That's the wicket Sri Lanka needed, and it's now 3 for 70. 2 years, and he's at the crease because his brother tried to make some room for himself and didn't quite get hold of it. Wasn't wide enough.
We saw Jay Surya do this yesterday as well, only he managed to nick the ball through to wicketkeeper Ian Healy, both making some room for themselves, and he was disappointed with himself, Mark Waugh, too. You don't often see him drop his head and shake his head when he gets out, but he did on that occasion.
Sri Lankans will be pushing for another wicket before lunch. If they get 4 before lunch, and the way they bat, they're the side that probably could chase 340 on the last day and get it, because they'll be all out attack. It was well caught by Tilkaratna. the way they've been catching any catch is a good catch, but he did catch that easily. And he's not a happy man, Mark Waugh. He's out for 12. That's a good over. The pressure's been applied by the medium pacers. 3 for 70. Australia lead by 255, but they'd be expecting 400 at the start of the day's play. Indavas picks up his 4th wicket in this test match. Could have had 6 or 7 easily. Bowled very well. Indavas, only 22 years of age. His birthday was yesterday. He's getting towards 50 test wickets already, and he doesn't get great support. I think in this match, this innings he has from both Pushpakamara and Vikramasinghe, but generally speaking, he's carrying the load with the new ball, and that's a very good average for 12 matches. 46 wickets at 23 is excellent.
Yeah, fine bowler, Chamindavas. He's going to be used a lot by the Sri Lankans. And that's the one thing that worries me. Such a young man bowling so many overs that you wonder how long he can keep going. But a good move here from the Sri Lankan captain, bringing on Dharmasena. There's only just 20 minutes to go before the luncheon adjournment. And quite often, Steve Waugh struggles a little bit early against the spinners. I think he would rather come in and face the medium pacers or the quicker bowlers. And I think it's a good move by the Sri Lankan captain. Vikramasinghe has bowled very well, and he may well come from the other end after Chamindavas, but this is a good move.
Good crowd in as well. There's 41,000 up till last night that attended this test match. There's over 10 in today, so they're going past 50,000. And it's going to be a very interesting test match, particularly if there's a run chase on the final day rather than a save situation. Long way to go yet. Has seen a right arm over the wicket off spinners. I think he's bowled pretty well in this match. I thought he was unlucky not to get Mark Waugh in the first innings. Caught it slip. Prepared to throw the ball up a bit. He's bowling into a light northerly breeze. Just moving the flags there on the scoreboard. And the onside field is 4 on the onside and 5 on the off. So his tack should be outside the line of the off stump. David Boon, a beautiful player of off spin. It starts nicely with a cracking four through the covers. Beautiful use of the feet getting to the pitch of the ball. Superbly placed.
David Boon really enjoying himself out there this morning after the first delivery. And he's played some cracking drives. None better than this. 2 wide and 2 full from Dharmasena, and David Boon getting those little legs out there, hitting through the line of the ball. He's a beautiful driver of the ball when in form. I think he's decided that this is the innings, his last in Test cricket for Australia, where he's going to play all of his shots.
Dharmasena won't mind being hit through the covers. The off spinner likes the batsman trying to drive against the spin. It was far too wide, but he can entice the batsman to drive and get one to drift out and spin back. There's a chance of a stumping or a bold decision. Get through the gate. There's the 4 fieldsmen on the offside, 3 in a line, 1 at mid-off and in the slip, making 5. It's not a big spinner of the ball. Murali Dhuran spins the ball a lot more than Dharmasena. Crowd aware there's a good battle going on. They love their Test cricket in Adelaide. Good supporters of all types of cricket, but particularly this long weekend. It's a better day today, getting up towards 30 degrees. Oops, it was in the air, and that's a little bit of luck there. 5 off the over, but just chipping that. Almost went to mid-on. 3 for 74.
It's the third and final test, and there's no limits to the prizes you could win. An Oasis holiday for 2 adults and 2 children for 7 days at the SeaWorld Nara Resort, including fares from your capital city. Also, 50 tanks of PP petrol to the value of $60. Just ring this number now and tell us in 10 words or less Australia's 3 best bowlers from the past 5 years and why. And you could be the winner of your very own Oasis holiday.
The sun umbrella's up for the first time in this test match. Well bowled. He's a beautiful bowler, Shaminder Vas. He's got a nice action. He's not a big lad. He's wiry. He's got a good change of pace. Excellent line bowler. He's got the advantage of being able to push the ball across the right-handed batsman with the angle and then swing it back to the new ball. David Boon, the last delivery from Darren Messina, trying to drive. I don't know whether he was bent in flight or he just checked that on drive. It was in the air and just went wide of the bowler.
It wasn't quite to the pitch of it, and it may have just held up a little there. We just saw a puff of dust. And when you see a puff of dust when the ball pitches, Steve wore off the mark. But when you see a puff of dust when the ball pitches, it usually means that it's broken the surface of the pitch. And that usually means it doesn't come off as quickly. And David Boon going through his shot, the ball holding up, slowing up a fraction more than he thought, meant that he hit the ball in the air. And he was fortunate that it didn't go back to the bowler.
Batsmen out this morning, Taylor, Slater and Mark Waugh. That's the Sir Donald Bradman stand. The City end. Out, got in, they're 4 down. That's beautiful bowling. Boon out for 35. And Sri Lanka fighting their way back into this test match. A wonderful performance by the bowlers. Standing ovations from all around the ground. The end of a magnificent career as a batsman for David Boon. Third most runs in the history of Test cricket. He's getting a superb ovation.
Imagine yourself feeling better than ever.
Would $300 cash back make you feel better? You bet! And that's what Sleepmaker or Simmons will give you when you buy your mattress or ensemble from the bedroom now. They'll give you a factory rebate of up to $300, which is exclusive to and available only at the bedroom. Come to the bedroom now and buy your quality Sleepmaker or Simmons. The Bedroom, York Street, Launceston, next to Von Vibra Motors.
Ricky Ponting makes his way to the crease. It'll be difficult after that ovation for David Boon, a standing ovation for at least 3 minutes. Ricky Ponting with an average of 57.66, but Shaminder Vas deserved that wicket. He's a beautiful young bowler, and he got the angle right. We talked about the left-arm bowler getting some angle to the right-handed batsman. You have to play.
It's a beautiful piece of bowling from Shaminder Vas. Quite a simple catch. And David Boon just following that delivery. He's, well, he normally may not have played at that, but I think he was determined today to play an attractive innings for this large crowd here. His last innings for Australia.
Well, the informed Stephen Moore's joined by Ricky Ponting. And this has been an excellent morning for Sri Lanka. They will not fall over. They keep fighting back. They dropped a lot of catches in the first innings. So far, they're hanging on to the catches here today, even though they might be straightforward, but it makes a difference. We've lost 4 for 59 this morning, Australia. It's 4 for 75.